I'm here for DustCS's ongoing coverage of the ESL Impact Dallas Finals, and I'm here with FlyQuest Red's coach, Viktor, Viktor, also known as Flashie. So the first thing I wanted to ask you about is, obviously you guys suffered a very unfortunate loss to NAVI Javelins that ended your run here in Dallas. What do you think went wrong in the game that ultimately stopped your run?
I think NAVI is just on another level right now. We are improving even by event, and we are trying our best, and we made play of this time, which we are satisfied with. But we need to keep improving to be able to compete with these kind of teams like Nigma Galaxy and NAVI Javelins.
I wanted to ask you too, of course, the day before the Impact Final started, the team was announced to be playing for FlyQuest Red. For about a 2-month period, CLG was in free agency. Is it a relief? Is it a relief for your team that they, are not have to worry about being orgless?
Oh yeah, definitely. I actually am really proud of the team, how we pushed through the 2 months of finding a new organization. We kept practicing, we kept pushing for our goals, and we reached our ultimate goal, which was to make the playoff on this event.
I wanted to ask you as well, during your time on CLG Red, you didn't live with, you weren't in America with the team most of the time, right?
I am working from Europe. I am living in Hungary, and that's how I'm trying to figure out with the time zone changes. So I am 9 hours behind LA. So yeah, it's rough, but I think at some point you are getting used to it. So. Yeah.
Is the ultimate goal for you? Would you ideally want to live in the same time zone as the team?
I would, but I have close bounds with my family. So until I have to, I don't think I will consider moving to the NA.
We've seen a lot of back about a year ago, after the previous Impact Finals, the team made a decision to go international and bring in Kayode and Bibian. Who was sort of the main mind behind that idea of breaking up sort of the NA dominant roster and bringing in international players? What role did you play in sort of that signing?
I worked together with CLG to rebuild the lineup because Diane and Emmy wanted to explore their options in Valorant. So I started scouting after Dallas, and I managed to find the replacement players, who was Bibi, Kayode, and Mnmzzz.
You have so prior to becoming a coach in the Impact scene, you had an extensive history as a player in the Hungarian/European scene. How valuable, or is that experience valuable for your players, and what have you been able to teach them from your playing career?
I think it's important because when you are a player first, you can bring a lot of things to coaching, and you can use your knowledge as a coach that you had as a player too. So the two are heavily connected, and you can give advices that probably coaches who never really played the game on a competitive level couldn't. As we look at sort of the state of the Impact scene right now, Nigma have been dominant for so long. They're almost like the Astralis of the Impact scene. But a lot of teams have been been closing that gap. We see NAVI Javelins continue to close that gap. We see NIP Impact sort of come up and play very, very well. Do you think that now you've been signed by FlyQuest Red, do you think you have the tools on this roster to eventually rise up and take down Nigma Galaxy and sort of fight to be a dominant force in the Impact scene? Yeah, definitely. Our biggest problem right now is consistency. If it's our A day, I feel like we can beat anyone. But if it's our B or C day, then I feel like we can also lose to anyone. So that's the hard part, and that's what we are trying to work on more, to be more consistent as a team and as individuals as well.
And I wanted to ask you, final question, is that FlyQuest has never been in the CSGO scene. They've looked at signing teams in the past, but they've never done it. How did it come together? How did this come together that FlyQuest was willing to make the first step into CSGO with your team? What was the sort of discussions there?
I don't know much about the details, but there was just common interest by both parties, and CLG helped make the process come through.
And what's next for FlyQuest Red now that you guys head into the player break? What's the focus, and what are the plans for the second half of the year?
So right now we are actually not going to player break yet because we are in the ESL main playoffs. So we are heavily trying to make advance this season. And if we manage to do that, then after that we are going to take a few weeks of break, and then we are coming back to practice to be able to reach the next Impact Finals and continue competing in ESL.
All right, sounds good. Hope to see you guys in advance, and hope to see you continue to climb in ESL Impact. Thank you so much for your time. Commiserations on the loss.